So in this video, we're going to chat about this past weekend service. And something I should have said earlier, I've been battling with something over the last 2 or so weeks. So if I sound a little bit congested or whatever it is, please forgive me. Okay, so something I did not realize was, and because we're actually not in a control room situation, which I'm usually used to when I do these kind of events. I'm not used to being out there, like we're calling the shots and we're on the switcher and stuff like that, and we're out there in the church, in essence. But there is no sound coming online with the countdown. And I understand, I was chatting to Brian about this, and he mentioned it's because of royalty issues. Well, okay, we need to fix that. Sorry, it's kind of, in my world, there's not a good thing. I have ideas for that. I think that we could actually use, that's where we could actually bring, like I chatted in my previous video, we could actually talk about having, like maybe at the fire, the fireside area outside in the foyer area, we could actually like have a handheld camera over there, like shoulder mount, or who knows what it is. I'll probably bring a camera for that because I'm not a fan of the camera that you guys are using. And we can mic up the whole thing over there. We can send it to the people online, and we can be telling them about this exciting service that's about to happen, and they don't want to miss it. Okay, that's an idea. We could, of course, do other things. I like that idea. High five. Yeah. All right. The other thing is that we come out of the the countdown. And then we go into Brian saying howdy from the stage. We bring up his name tag. And this is where, when you're on the switcher, that's why I've said to you guys, that DSK, you apply the DSK, and then you release it again. So something moving ahead that I would actually like to incorporate, which I have at other churches as well. We're going to have to kind of figure this out because you guys are also using 3 computers. I mean, I haven't actually used 3 computers to do this before, but hey, is that we need to network the computer that is by the switcher. We need to network that so that when that can get fired from the main ProPresenter computer, so that the person who's doing the switching, which I've never done in my life before, having to click on things, that's just, in my world, that's a no-no. You focus on, you got the multi-view in front of you, you're seeing the cameras, you're seeing everything that's happening, you're talking to your camera ops. Usually we actually have had ProPresenter on comms as well, which is something I actually want to actually bring, especially during the message part, because gosh, that font is so jolly small, you can barely see anything. So anyway, that's why, because now the person who's on the switcher is having to actually deselect or clear on ProPresenter. And this past weekend, I'm not raining your parade, Chloe, but I should have actually maybe even picked it up. But anyway, because we bring up Brian's name and then it goes away, because I think that you took out, you released the DSK, which was good, but you didn't clear on ProPresenter, which, anyway, and then when we go into lyrics, then you engage the DSK again, but then Brian's name comes up. So yeah, I don't like the way that works. It's just asking for problems. I know that I've done things differently for other people, for other churches or whatever it is, and I have this thing called Cinema Verite, which I will show you examples of, and I've told you guys some of them. Some of you are familiar with it, some aren't, where in essence your camera is moving, and it actually it helps with the whole flow. I will actually upload a video that will be, I guess, the 4th video, or is it the 5th video? You don't have to watch the whole thing, but if you want to, it could be beneficial. It's like a long song. I'm not sure if it's like 10 minutes long or something like that, but look at the way that we shot it. Look at the way that that just everything is. And this is where, like I've mentioned to you guys before, we are at a disadvantage right now with the kind of lenses that we have on those cameras. They are not B4 lenses. B4 lenses are generally light production lenses. We are using these Sigma lenses, which they are not parfocal, which means that if we push into a shot and then we zoom out, it generally doesn't quite stay in focus. On camera 2, it kind of works a little bit. Camera 1, because we pushed in on the sensor, we've cropped the sensor because we want to get a closer shot. It doesn't work as well on that. I'm trying to figure out a way around that. Yeah. But the thing too is that if you watch this other video, you will actually see that there are shots where either the person, like they have on most times, I mean, sometimes on camera 2, or maybe even camera, I think it was 4, I'm not quite sure, with my handheld, where you can push in on a shot, you can zoom out and all that kind of stuff. But definitely on camera 1, where either the shot will be, it'll be like closer and it'll zoom out, or it'll be zoomed out and it'll be closer, and it's happening live. And I love that, and the movement and stuff like that. And that's why also, like in this past service, I had you guys like going from a vocalist to another vocalist, even someone who wasn't the lead. We actually captured them, and then we panned across and picked up the lead. The only thing, though, is that everything's just very static. There is no emotion. It's like, so I'm someone who's watching this. Okay, so Ashley is getting very excited. She's awesome. I mean, she's getting into it in a song, and it's just boom, there it is. It's like, it's not showing what's happening. And that's the whole thing. Is like me as a person who's watching online, I want to feel it, man. I want to see that passion conveyed through the movements in the camera, And like I said, you'll see in this other footage where it's not crazy. It's subtle, but you tell me in the comment section, or you tell me in person when you see me what you think about that. Actually, put it in the comment section, because there may be other people who do that too. Because I feel like it really adds something. That's what's going to separate us from just this cookie cutter stuff that most people just are doing. And it's not like we're in a competition. We're not in church production competition. That's like the worst thing. But I mean, I've done so many of these things, and I've done conferences, and and it doesn't always work for conferences, depending on whether it's corporate. You're probably not going to be doing cinema verite, but it just adds so much more emotion. That being said, too, the online sound, it needs to change. I know it is really tricky the way that it's set up right now. I mean, when I've done stuff for other churches, we have a great deal of times we've had 2 people mixing, one front of house, one online sound. I mean, some people, some organizations, some churches, they actually have a room where you can actually mix the online sound. But like for me, when you're in a production room, like you're in another room, you're not actually in the service. We have reference speakers over there, and so I can actually. So when we're doing rehearsals, I'm actually telling the online person what I'm needing or what's lacking or whatever it is. And these are good reference speakers too. I mean, I like during rehearsal, I'll crank them up a bit, and when we get into the actual service, I'll take them down a bit, because obviously I'm on comms, and camera people won't be able to listen. But yeah, we need to work on that. And I have someone that I may be bringing in sooner than later who can actually help us with that. He's really good. He's actually helping with online sound with churches. He does live sound online. He's really good. Also, the other thing I'd like to do is also, I'm not opposed to the way that we're doing the name tag, with Kirsten and with Andy. Although, funny enough, I mean, who was it? Was it Chloe? Was it you who was on the switcher? Remember, was it last week, the week before, whenever it was, Christmas? I don't know, where they actually swapped, and then we put the name tags up, and it was not right. So that's another thing we have to be, cognizant of as well, is that as a person who is pushing the buttons, you're switching, you need to be aware of what's coming up. That's why when I ran my multi-view, I used to actually have those lower thirds showing up in one of my boxes, and maybe we'll just do that as well, because then you're looking at the box. You're not just looking at some random screen that's on the side there. You're looking at one of your multi-view boxes, and you look and you go, oh, wait a minute, Andy and Kirsten they mix mash, And so the workaround is obviously we can create 2 of those, which I think could be beneficial just in case. The other thing is creating separate name tags. So that, okay, so we go to a 2-shot when they come up. Maybe we don't use the name tags, like we have been. And like I said, it's not right or wrong. It's just sometimes, what the flexibility of the situation. So then we do a wide shot, Andy and Kirsten come up, and then, Kirsten starts talking. We go to her on a close-up. Well, a name tag, it shows up, And then, like I said, I like doing things live. I just think it looks intentional. It looks like we know what we're doing. When we keep on changing shots, that's another thing. If we keep on changing shots from close-up to a wide, and then we go back to a close-up, then it's like, to me, this is what I think, They're playing it safe, or they weren't quite ready to do that. I kind of feel like, these guys are not creative, they're not risk takers. That's just me. Okay, I mean, I love the creative part of telling stories when we're actually switching. So anyway, so we could do that. We can go to Kirsten, put up a name tag, obviously, keep it there for a little bit, and lose the name tag. Andy starts speaking. We pan across nicely to Andy, and then, wait a second or so, put up his name tag, hold it there for a few seconds, take it off. And then I kind of feel like then we can, then I don't mind. We've kind of set a bit of a precedent then. So don't get me wrong. It's like we're telling people, hey, we know what we're doing. I know it seems like, I don't know, it seems strange to you, but it's just the way I'm wired. So we've done these singles, and then we've panned across, and then we can maybe go to like a medium wide or whatever it is. We maybe go back to close-ups. We're just making it interesting. We're changing it up. We're keeping the viewer engaged. I guess that's the thing. We're not just because if we go across. We don't want to do this. I mean, that's because then it's like, what the heck's going on? Then the people are going to think, well, if they lost all their cameras, they only have one camera. I mean, they probably wouldn't think that, but anyway. But it's like we're keeping them engaged. We're using angles to tell the story. And that's why, like in some ways, what's it, camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the really wide that we're using right now. That's why, like as a technical director, which in essence, if you are pushing the buttons, okay, and you are calling it, you are the technical director, okay? You're not the video director, you are the technical director. If I am calling it, then and then you're pushing the buttons, you are still, in essence, the technical director. I'm just the director, okay? So anyway, that's just for free. But you're just looking and listening, like what's happening, okay, in the service, the lulls and all that kind of stuff, like in the message, you're trying to listen, okay, he's cracking a bit of a joke now, or he's asking people to raise their hand, did you watch the movie last night? We go to a wide shot, we can see the people raise their hands. So that's where, as a TD or director or whatever it is, it's really important to be listening, to be focused on what's going on. And, I mean, let's say we had a camera person on camera 5, which, I mean, moving ahead, it would be nice if we could actually do that, like with a bigger lens. We could actually zoom out wide. Although it would probably still be more of a wide shot, but anyway. I think it was it a week ago or something like that? Was it Christmas? Was it the Tuesday, like a week ago? Where, excuse me, I'm having a bit of a brain freeze. It was on camera 1, I think it was. And you said to me that you were having issues with focus. So we have this thing called a camera control unit, which we can access all the cameras through this camera control unit because it's Blackmagic. For those of you who don't know, all the cameras are Blackmagic cameras, in case you don't know that, and this control unit is a Blackmagic control unit. So that thing can actually, it can change just about everything on the camera. I mean, even zoom if you really wanted to. But because we were out of focus on camera 1 and the operator was having some issues, I just went over to the camera control unit and I selected camera 1 and I clicked on this little icon and I just brought it into focus. So he was in preview, I believe, because generally the way because it hits focus really fast. And if a person was live, I wouldn't want to do that live. I mean, I wouldn't want to take something that's soft focus and then stick it into live and then try and resolve the issue. We don't want to do that. So whatever we take to program needs to be sharp. I mean, for those of you who don't know as well, that new multi-view that we have, it's a 4K screen. So you can actually see things pretty clearly. I think the previous monitors, they were all 1080. So that's why, I don't know, you guys had so many of them because you couldn't actually see if it was really in focus. But in this 4K, you can actually see it's in focus. So also just in case... I don't get to, say it or whatever. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Connor did a great job coming out there, like, with even like he's the pre-communion type thing and also the message. Anyway, shout out to Connor. Way to go, dude. That was sweet. And actually, while I'm on Connor, something I actually really liked about what he did, I don't know if you guys noticed this on the production team, is that when he was going to go to scripture, he didn't just start reading it. He said like
this in Romans 12, 1-2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters.
Now that is helpful. And this is something like when we, like I said in one of the other videos, when we had to coach people, we have had to coach people. getting up to speak is, people just think, oh, well, you got God inside of you, and you got the Holy Spirit, and you can just fire away and go for it. Yeah. I mean, in many respects you can, but based on what we are trying to do, this is where church production makes life a little bit interesting. Is that we don't just want to necessarily just wing it all the time. I'm all for winging it. I love the creativity. I love being in the moment. But when it comes to stuff like scripture being put up, or even like lyrics, I mean, you don't want to be like 5 seconds late. I mean, that's a lifetime, And so something I really appreciated what Connor did is where he would actually say, okay, we're going to go to Acts 3 or 2 or whatever it is, and then he would start reading it. But that is very helpful for for someone on ProPresenter. Yes. I mean, you tell me, John, if that wasn't helpful for you, and then also, Chloe, you were pushing the buttons, on Sunday. And so, and I don't know, your eyesight's probably better than me, like trying to read that jolly screen with what's going on. But when he said that, we didn't have to try and figure it out. Oh, is he actually reading it? No, because he said he said it's Acts 2 or 3 or whatever it is. And so we knew we were going there. And so we were like on standby, ready. Yeah. And also, so like the way that we were using the scripture on the side, I like to, like I said, I like to do things in camera. Like I know that there's a way, and I know that Chloe that you mentioned, you can put camera 2 on preview, on standby, and then we can bring in the scripture, on their left, and then we could just cut it in. Yeah, I mean we can do that, and once again, I guess this is a preference for me. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I like it when we actually, camera 2 is there, it's live, okay? And then we're moving, well, we're moving the person that way, and then we're dissolving the scripture in, and then we're taking it out and we're centering up. And it's like this, I just like, me personally, I just like the way that looks. It just looks very intentional. I know sometimes the other way may be safer, and there are certain times which safety is paramount. But I think for now, if you could just humor me and we just try that out. And also, let's just, because of the way that it's formatted as well, let's make sure that for camera 2 right now, okay, we are shooting like a 3/4, so just below the knees, okay. And then because it just seems like the way that scripture is then presented next to the speaker, it just looks a little bit more balanced, and it just, yeah. So it kind of, for me, when I look at it, I don't think, because if we do a head to toe and we do that, it just seems like it's out of proportion. So anyway, yeah, let's just do that. And then also for the close up, let's just do, I mean, we can get the top of the pub table in. Yeah, so we're doing kind of like from the head, like a little bit down here. I'm actually wondering a little bit about that pub table too, because that thing's, I mean, it's glass. We're actually getting some reflection. We're getting some weird stuff bouncing. I actually noticed, I think it was the week before, was it, when Steve was speaking, that I was like, what the heck is going on? I mean, I actually saw, I actually thought he was stepping out of a I thought the light had failed or something like that, because of what was happening when he was walking, and I think it was actually the light hitting that table. Anyway, I wanna look at that to see if that actually is the issue, but something was funky. Okay, so something I was also just wondering, and like I said, wondering. So there are, okay, so the backup, I mean, the vocalists, everyone on the stage, okay, you've got your confidence monitor that's up there in front of house. So what are the little iPads doing for the people? I mean, I know if you're a musician, then obviously you could have chord structures and all that kind of fun stuff on it, but, and the reason I bring that up is that I'm just glad it's not a music stand, because, oh dear God, the music stands, please forgive me. They used to infuriate the life out of me when like some churches had them, because it was like someone was holding up a big tray in front of themselves. It's like this barrier, and you may not think anything of it, but that is really a barrier. It's causing, because the person, it's like you are blocking them off. It's like when someone's like, you're talking to them and you're trying to connect with them when they're doing this. That's kind of like the music stands did. But now also with the iPads, they also in some ways, I mean, obviously they're smaller, but I'm kind of wondering, okay, so what's the purpose of them really? if the lyrics are up there, okay, I'm missing something probably. But I was wondering, I mean, could we possibly drop them down a little bit? So that we can actually get a full shot, like a body, like almost like a half body or something like that, so that we don't have this barrier once again in the way. We did this one conference, and we had 2 camera operators on the stage, and the one we had prime lenses on these cameras, and the one was a 35, which is a wider shot. You get like a wider shot. The other one was 85, and if you guys know anything about lenses, I think both of these lenses were the lowest stop was 1.5. That is like awesome sauce. I mean, it can make it tricky for a camera operator, but man, because what you could do, like the guy was on electric or on bass or whatever it is, and the camera op gets him, that's out of focus, this is in focus, that's out of focus. And then the camera operator can actually ride, I mean, he can almost follow the guy, and he can ride that focus on his, on the fret. And it was just beautiful. So that being said, because, it's just because of what you can do with handhelds and stuff like that. But I was wondering, like with the keyboardist, if we had to put the keyboardist on the other side of the stage, and then actually have him facing the band instead of facing the audience, facing him the band, so we actually have a shot like this. So then maybe even I don't know if camera 4 could get that angle, or we could actually kind of to some extent hit it with 1 as well. Anyway, this is just a question. Is that doable? I mean, like the way things are wired on the stage, or I mean, would that be just throwing the baby out with the bathwater? I don't know. I'm just trying to look for better shots, because obviously we can't get a handheld up there as much as I would love to get that, So the only way from a camera point of view that we are going to get better is if we actually train. I mean, there's just no way about it. There's no easy fix to that. So, I mean, for now, I think it's going to have to be that camera ops come in at a certain time, and that they can train. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go to the next level, we have to train. I mean, it's like that with pretty much everything. Yeah, because what's going to happen as well is that when you start to train, especially on camera, is that you're going to become more confident, and you will start looking for shots and start creating shots. Like for instance, like something which is probably going to take a little while, and you guys have to understand. You're going to have to kind of tap in and understand and listen. This is really important. I want you guys. You have to start paying camera operators, a person who's switching, technical director, whatever it is. You have to start paying attention to the music. You have to start paying attention to what is happening on the stage. You have to start feeling what is happening with the music and what's happening on the stage. You got to be listening in for the nuances of the song. Like, where is there going to be like a musical interlude or something like that? So they're finishing off something, or they're starting something. They're starting a verse, chorus, whatever it is. Because this is those little transition areas. That allows us to be. We can throw in like something creative. We could do like a rack focus or something like that. Like for instance, like let's say, whether it was like this past weekend, one of the female vocals, or it was Brian, and like he's on his guitar, and then he comes. We know as a camera op, and most times it's going to be like a close up, that he's coming to the end of of that particular line, and he's not going straight into the next one. It's going to be seconds, 5 seconds, or who knows what it is. Then we could take the camera out of focus. And you could even like just pan it away or something like that, or even just take it out of focus, and then we could potentially dissolve into something else. That's where like the dissolves would actually they come in, and this would once again probably be in something a little bit slower. Because you don't normally do like you don't a lot of times do like a rack focus, out of focus thing when it's like a faster song. So, and then I just thought of something. I was talking to Brian the other day about this. Something I should tell our camera operators as well is your settings on your tripod. Of course, we're not doing cinema verta yet, but as we are going to go towards that, the way that your tilt and your pan will be, it'll be looser than when you go to the message. So think about that, okay? Because when we're doing cinema verte, like right now, you guys just find the shot, and it's like you could almost like take a snack break or something. Obviously, we want to change it up, but anyway. So, but with cinema verte, you literally you got both those handles, and you're moving that camera, just ever so slightly, but that it needs to be looser like that, so that you don't have any jerks on your pan and your tilt. And then when we go to the message part, then that's when we tighten up a little bit. We still want to, we don't want to be like, jerky and stuff like that, but it definitely makes life easier if you tighten it up. That's what I used to tell my camera ops. And sometimes they'd remember, sometimes they forget, because we get into the message and I look at them and I'm thinking, looks a little bit, loose and swishy. And they're like, oh yeah, I haven't tightened it up. And the other thing too right now, because of the change that we made on camera 1 and 2 position, we're gonna have to be a little bit more thoughtful about how we are standing on the ground, because we are getting camera shake. I did not see that one coming. I didn't realize there was so much vibration coming through that floor. So, Brian, we have a solution. I'm not quite sure when it's going to happen. There's someone we're gonna. It looks like we may be cutting the floor out from where the tripods go, and then we're going to build a platform from the floor up over there, and then the tripods will actually fit on that, so that there's no transfer from the operator to the tripod, because that's usually where the disconnect happens. It's not from the handles, unless someone smacks it, but the vibration. I mean, then you could actually, if you want to do like jumping jacks, it wouldn't actually affect the tripod, the stability. Not that we're encouraging jumping jacks during camera operation, but you get my drift. So we're just going to have to be a little bit more careful. So that means, I guess, for all of us who are up there in media world, when we need to give cameras 1 and 2 a bit of a berth, I guess, or just walk like really carefully. Because when I watched the stream I post, I did notice that. And yeah, I mean, for online people, especially you're watching on like a 80-inch TV, yeah, that's not pretty. But that's not your guys' fault. I'm just trying to present you with how we're going to provide a solution. But we need to work in the interim to see how we can kind of better the situation before the solution, presents itself in entirety. Something we need to be aware of, or we need to not do, should I say, is, and I don't know if I've seen you guys do this at all, but when we're on camera, whether it's during worship and the message, I know that the message kind of sometimes it seems like, I mean, we do have a little bit more of a lull, things are not happening as fast necessarily, is that we don't get on our cell phones. We're not gonna, be looking up to see what's happening on Instagram or some social media platform. If you are expecting some sort of message, phone, or anything like that, if you're expecting something to be happening, come to me or whatever it is, when you get there and say, I may be getting a call from my dad or my mom or my uncle. I may need to take that. I may need to check for something, and we'll have to try and see how we can navigate that, because we cannot be on our phones when we are in production. Actually, it doesn't really matter what position we're in, whether we're doing sound, whether we're doing lighting, moving ahead lighting, because you will miss things. I've been there, and I've missed things. Yeah. So let's just be aware of that, and let's just honor that, because because the thing is, maybe your shot's fine, but then the next thing you take your phone out, and then something happens, and you go like this, and you bump the handles or something like that, and you're live. I mean, that's not going to be super awesome. So let's just be aware of that, and let's just try and avoid our cell phones when we're live. So I know I may have said this before, but what we're wanting to really do is we are telling a story. We are telling a story as it is happening in real time. It is one of the most trickiest things that anyone can do. Live production it can be stressful. There was a time, I'll be honest, where it used to, live production used to stress the life out of me. There was especially when I used to go to churches and start them with production from either they had no cameras or one camera, like some little Best Buy jobby, and then everything kind of fell on my shoulders. And then I'd be the one who's calling everything, who is, and who seems to be doing the whole thing. That's why it is really important to have key people in positions, because then that won't happen. And we don't make things so complicated so that that if something goes wrong, it's just the whole thing, falls apart. But we're telling the story. That's why the shots, the music, all that kind of stuff, the way that we do the shots, the way that the music comes across is it's going to bring it. It's going to hold engagement. I mean, you guys know, if you aware of what they say with social media, how that, I mean, the attention span of people has just got terrible. I mean, watch it 3 to 5 seconds, and then they want to they want to get out because it's just not good. Obviously, people who are going to watch a live stream for a church, I mean, one would hope that's not going to be the case. But if we can tell the story, in a really creative way that's not distracting. I mean, in worship we can get away with just about anything because that's creative. Okay. During the message, we've got to be a bit more intentional, but at the same time, we need to be listening for the hooks. Okay, so for instance, if Connor this past weekend was actually saying something and it seemed like it was really there was substance to that particular statement, we want to be in a close-up because that's where we want, because the people, there's not too much distracting over there. We don't want to do a wide shot, and he's saying something really intentional, because someone's watching the wide shot and they're like, oh my word, those Christmas trees are so pretty, or oh man, look at that drum cage, oh, it's getting a bit of reflection over there, or oh, I can see this guy scratching his head in the foreground. No, we want to avoid those kind of things. And we want to just go to those shots. And your camera one shot is your money shot. I would say that's for the most time you want to come back to one, the close up most of the time, and then obviously camera two we're using that for the scriptures, and we're just cycling through these things. We don't want to stay on these. We don't want to stay on any particular shot for probably more than 30 seconds or something like that. Your wide shot, like camera 5. That one, maybe 10 seconds. That's all we want to We want to let that one have. It's just, we kind of showing people, oh, look at the room. Maybe the people put their hands up because they watched this, this show where this guy was funny last night, or they read the scripture, or who knows what it is. And then we go back to something, either camera 1 or 2, depending. So yeah. Anyway, I'm hoping I'll be able to do these kind of videos more often. If I can do them every week, it would be nice if I had the time. The other thing I'm also planning to do is record the multi-view, okay, so that we can actually see how everything came together. And you're able to, and this is not to dog on anyone, you'll be able to see your mistakes. I used it to be able to see my mistakes when I've been doing this, because I record the multi-view and I go back to it and I go, why the heck didn't I take that shot? Or what was going on over there? And then also recording the comms, because that way it actually helps explain things too, because sometimes you just look at the multi-view with just the worship happening, you think it's like, okay, well, what was going on there? Because sometimes, something was going on, but you'd hear it on the comms and it would make sense. So that's something I want to, I'm going to try and have it set up. I'm not sure if for this weekend I'll be able to do it, but it is a helpful tool, So yeah, so let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know your concerns if you have any insights, anything. I don't want to rain on you guys' parade. It's always tricky, I know, for someone coming in from the outside and then things start changing, and I don't want to make it appear as though you guys, it's like, I don't like what you're doing. That's not it. I know what works. I've been doing this for a long time. I think I'm somewhat good at what I do. And I've done hundreds of switches. I've technical and directing and all that kind of stuff. And to a large extent, I know what works and what doesn't work. I know what causes engagement and what doesn't cause engagement. I know what loses people's interest and what keeps their interest. So these are all kind of things that I figured out over the years. So, yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for what you're doing. It's people don't really appreciate it. They'll say thank you, but they don't understand the kind of time and commitment that it really takes. And that being said, once again, I know I may have mentioned in one of the other videos, but volunteers, we need volunteers. And if you give me a name, give me a number, give me a contact, point me to the person, even on the weekend, I will talk to them. I do not have a problem in talking to people because I can sell them on this thing. I can. I think we are doing one of the most exciting things. This is the worship and production is one of the most exciting ministries in the church. Don't tell anyone else I said that, but it just, it really is. It's amazing. We're getting to create stuff. We're getting to show it to the world. So, yeah. So thumbs up to you guys. You're doing a great job. Hang in there. Bear with me. Let me know your thoughts, and let's go for it together.